You know, we hear from a lot of our viewers just about, well, all sorts of questions and inquiries and so on and so forth, and also ideas, you know, for future episodes. And one of the ones that's come up a lot from our viewers is, so I'm interested in setting up my shop or even building a shop. And, you know, I'm wondering if there's any way that you guys could create an episode that would help me with some of the thought that goes into that. And that's what we're getting ready to present to you right now. So we're going to visit 5 different boat builders / woodworkers, and we're going to let them give you a little tour of their shops and the thought process that they went through in regards to how they set it up.
What's up?
Yeah.
So this is my assembly bench. It's lower. This is so that I can work on cabinets. I can clamp doors and things together. I wish that it were 6 inches wider and a foot longer, but this is all I had space for. I used to have a router table in here, but I don't do that anymore. Under bench storage is really handy for this.
Again, an efficient use of space.
If I need a clamp, they're here. If I need clamp blocks, they're here. Everything is just set up to use. We'll talk about the bar clamp storage in a minute. Here is a trick though. No matter what you do to this bench, it's not gonna always be level. You're gonna move it. So if I am gluing up a pocket door to go inside a boat bulkhead, don't ask me how I know that this could happen. If this bench has a bow in it and I glue that door up on that bench, the door is going to have a bow in it. So before I do any critical glue up on this bench.
Yeah, and I ended up with opposing table saws here. So I ended up with initially I had a 1952 unisaw, which was, when I started woodworking, that was the holy grail of saws. If you could get a hold of one of those, that was a great thing. And I got this one out of a Formica furniture factory in Yonkers, New York for $500, and thought that was the happiest day of my life. But then someplace along the line, I guess in the early 2000s, SawStop came out with having a really good quality saw that had that feature of stopping the blade if you should touch it. So by the time I got that in here, the value of the unisaw had actually gone down. So there's just no way I wanted to sell it for a couple $100. So at that point I hit on the idea of just turning it around. And primarily I'm using this for cross-cutting and this for ripping. And it's a nice situation to keep 2 different blades in each one.
So there's things about constructing, putting together a shop that I had to think about. It was, what is it that I'm actually doing? What is my practice? What do I do? And there's a work table across the way where I primarily build. This is a lower table where sales are done, and also work extends over here. There's a design room back there with drawing tables. There's more machinery off to my right.
We opted for a 2x6 structure so we could get a lot of insulation. That was key. Since we're in Maine, we have winters. And I put a heat pump in for auxiliary heat. And let's see, the open floor plan was essential. And that was, I told him I wanted to look like a Maine barn, cedar clad. Just showed him a picture of that, and I found a website where I could design the interior 3D, and put that up there, and with a staircase going up to just loft storage above. Seasonal water, and that was it. Enough room to move all the tools around, and this is what we get.
And while I was building it, I was thinking about, as we see over here, plywood laying on its side. So on this wall, kind of hiding behind this door, there's a receptacle that's up at 4.5 or 5 feet off the floor, so I can get the plywood stack. Same thing above the assembly bench in the back. I wasn't sure if the plywood would be here or on this wall. In addition to these receptacles, there's something like 22 or 23 receptacles in the room, so that I don't have to have power cords running across the floor. Any place I can work or want to work, I can plug in right where I'm at. I got lots of extension cords for when I'm out on the boat, but for in here, I can do almost everything without an extension cord, which is kind of nice.